Sheetal Sangvi and Honey.
I'm Honey.
Yes, and today we're going to be co-hosting the Loom and Confluence session. So before we kind of get into it, couple of things I want to call out here, right? The next 1 hour is going to be very different than the session we done in the morning. The session we had followed along in the morning, you were following along step by step. The Loom and Confluence workshop is going to be a little bit of following, a little bit of listening, and observing what's happening on the screen. So definitely keep context switching and keep looking up when we'll of course be guiding you through this, and some things you'll be doing on your own, and we'll of course be also calling on volunteers. So maybe it will be the folks who did not raise their hands earlier today in the when the warm-up activity was happening. All right. Before we get into Loom and Confluence workshop, how many of you have heard of Loom? Okay, that's great. How many of you use Loom at your organizations right now? Yeah. So hopefully, our aim at the end of today's session is to have more of you using Loom in your everyday life, giving you productivity, giving you efficiency, and all that greatness that Loom holds in your specific roles. Before we kind of get into it, this is
Yeah, just a quick check, right? We are working in the same site that was given to you. So hopefully you are still logged into it. Is there anyone who is logged out of the site? Still need to see the URL? Can quickly see this. It's there in your earlier workshop guide as well. But we are all in the site, right? Perfect.
Can I have a show of hands for everybody being in the side? Okay, great. That's great. All right. Let's kick on. So for the purpose of the workshop today, we are all going to be working within this environment, okay? The organization's name is Forklift. So Forklift is very similar to Zomato and Swiggy. It's a food ordering app which is launching in our city in Nama, Bangalore. And you are all part of the go-to-market team, okay? That's the setup for the role play. Now, being part of the go-to-market team, there are a couple of key activities that we need to, kind of walk through, which is going to make up for the next 1 hour. And the first activity of the cab is we are going to be testing this site. Okay, you are all now wearing the hats of testers. Now, I would like for you guys to access this site and try to place an order. Right? So that's the first role here. And this is something that you're all doing hands-on on your laptop.
Yeah. So if you just go to your current site in Confluence and go to the marketing space, hope it is visible to you. This
Is
is,
everybody able to see the marketing tab on the left-hand side?
yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. So access that.
Yeah, just go to this workshop resources one. And in the first one, it will say the forklift site page. In the page, there is a link to this site. Just click on it, and you should come on the website, which should look like this. Right? We are all clear? Are we able to access the website? Come on, it's a food website, so I thought you'll be a little more excited to go to a food website. No, we just had
Right
food.
after lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go on to a coffee website
Coffee
or something.
website. I don't know. Taxi website so that they all can go home. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. Quickly, again, go to Confluence, search for the marketing space. There is a first folder called as workshop resources, and the first link in that is the forklift site. If you click there, it will have the link which will direct you to the website. Click on this one, and you should be directed to the website.
All in? Okay. So again, maybe, Honey, you want to walk them through the step
Yeah,
by
just
step?
go to the website. It has very cool, food items added, some all meal items, some dessert, depending on your choice. We basically just want you to quickly add 1 or 2 items into the cart and try placing an order, right? A quick view of it will be just, let's say, add 1 item to the cart. The cart icon is on the top right side of the website. Click on cart, and then click on the checkout, complete the checkout process. Quickly fill up the details. These are basic details, and anyway, it's a sandbox. Just fill up the details and try to click on place order and see if you can place the order.
And the first person to check out is going to get some really cool swag.
Yeah. How many of you are able to place the order? Is it because you just had food, you don't want to place the order? No? Yeah, the website is not allowing you to place the order. Free delivery? I wish, man. It's not.
It's not going to allow you to check out, and hence I made that joke. So I think, so exactly, there is a bug here. The website has a bug, and that is what is preventing you to check out whatever you've added to your cart.
And we've all been into this space, right? Our lives are sort of incomplete without encountering a bug, be it a technical website or problem is in our own life, which we don't want to think today till we are in the hall. Maybe outside the hall, we can think of the problems. But yeah, the idea is this is a very simple and basic scenario which you all encounter in, right? Now, being a good tester, we all know what we have to do next, right? Can anyone just raise the hand and voice out what should we do next? Sorry? Perfect.
Yes.
Raise a bug. How do
Raise
we
a
do
bug.
that? Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's a way of working, but
Yeah. Let's introduce you to a new way of working, right? And for the purpose of this exercise, I like to call upon a volunteer who will come on stage and show everybody this new way of raising a bug report. Who would like to volunteer?
don't worry, we'll walk you through it, we'll guide you.
Yes,
You
yes,
just
yes,
have to
yes,
be
yes.
brave enough.
Yes, please
First
come,
one,
come on
the
stage. Thank
gentleman in
you.
the check shirt. Yeah, can you please come here?
Wonderful. A round of applause for him. Amazing.
Can we have your name, please?
Please, yeah. Please.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Aditya. I am a product manager at Cognizant currently, and I'm building an API integration platform for one of the largest UK-based recruitment client.
Perfect. But for today, you are actually building a website and you're
Yes.
testing a website. Yeah. Okay. So Aditya, right? If we can please have you on the laptop, right? So what we'll do is, don't worry, we'll guide you. I'll tell you where to click. But we'll see Aditya raising a bug with a different, approach. We'll go to Jira, but before that, we'll do something cool, right? And as said, we'll be using Loom for that, right? So there are multiple ways to access Loom.
Sorry, honey, I'll just cut you here real
Sure,
quick.
sure.
Guys, this is a part of the demonstration. I want your eyes on the screen. And all your attention on Aditya because he is representing all of you and he's going to be raising this bug report in a very unique way than what you guys are typically used to. Back to you.
And we are all one team here. So if Aditya is successful, it's less work for all of us, right? So let's give him some positive vibes. Who is currently looking in the mobile for something? I don't know. We have still not launched the mobile version of the website. If you're thinking.
I
That.
am checking a bit my own team.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So Aditya, what we'll do is we'll access the browser extension of Loom. So if you just go to the top right side, you will see a blue icon like a setting icon. Yes. So this is a Loom icon to initiate the browser extension of Loom. Can you just click on it? Yeah. So now what it does is you can see, maybe we can bring this here so that the audience is able to see it now, hopefully. Yeah. So what Loom does is it gives you an option to basically record your activity that you would want to do. And it captures on multiple formats. It will capture the video, as you can see. Aditya, can you wave in the video? Yeah. So it captures the video, it will capture the audio, and also the things that are going on screen, right? Whatever we'll do next. And then it allows you to select, what do you want to do and all those things. There are different formats we can explore. But for today, if you can just click on the more icon, which is on the bottom right side. No, not the top one, the third tab. Yeah. And that, so you can actually generate in a specific format basis your requirement, right? The first one says a voice prompt. We'll leave it for the next website launch. But this time we'll just click on the bug report, as you can see, right? So now Loom knows that we are creating a bug, right? So the type of Loom and all of this, it automatically know, and we'll show the advantage of that as well, right? So now I'll request Aditya to just go and replicate the steps in the website. Basically try to click on start recording, right? Screen one, share, yeah. It gives you a nice prompter so that you are up and ready for the video to be recorded. And you can go ahead, Aditya, just replicate the steps. If you want to provide some audio also, you can do that, it will pick up. If not, in a setting like this, we can skip that also. But what Aditya is doing is, just scroll down, try to add one item in the cart. Yeah, just add
Exactly what you
anything.
had done at
Yeah.
desk. So reproduce
No
that.
worries, just
Yeah,
add one
add to
item to the
cart.
cart. Yeah, go to the cart on the top right side. It's okay, $24 will pay, don't worry. Just go to checkout. Right? It automatically has some pre-populated information data just for the showcasing purpose. Scroll down and click on place order. Right? So this is just, typically this is what we'll do to replicate the bug, right? So we have done it. Now the purpose of the loom is done. So if you see to the left of here, there is an option to stop it. We'll click stop. No, this is paused. You can play again, don't worry. And now click on stop. All right, congratulations. Aditya has been a successful first QA testers among all of us. Okay, so can we?
Aditya, is this your first loom that you have recorded? Okay.
For bug creation and all, and for tracking purpose, yes.
All right. Great. Awesome. Yeah, please a round of applause for Aditya.
We'll take it forward from here. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Great. So now that we have stopped the recording, this is the landing page. Okay, so let me walk you through what this landing page really means for you. Before we kind of walk into this, look, we are all very familiar with Teams, we are familiar with Zoom, and we have video recordings of those as well. I think the way this differentiates from those recordings is the action you can take from recording your screen, recording, or having a narration within the recording as well. The activity that you can embark on from a recording. Usually, what happens after a Zoom recording is you just get a transcript. You're not able to actually take action on that transcript. So I will highlight a couple of things here. Maybe if you can follow along with the mouse, that'd be awesome. The first tab on the top right is the edit, right? The edit it allows you to kind of clean up the video. If there are filler words in it, you can clean that up. If you're sharing it with senior leadership, you want to appear a bit more polished. This is a great way for you to edit it. The second one would actually, we'll come back to activity and generate later. Transcript. The fourth tab, which is the transcript tab, it gives the entire transcript of the video, right? This is a feature that we see stock standard. It's with any kind of recording tool, you get transcript. Now, my favorite one is generate. Now, because we had already chosen bug report at the start before we started recording the video, it is taking us directly to the bug report activity, right? So it's generated a bug report for you with all of this. So actually, if you see this video, it is how many seconds long? It is a minute long. That's it. So with content which is generated from 58 seconds of speaking, it is able to give you an overview, steps to reproduce, what is the acceptance criteria, and also it kind of traces it back to the link of the loom so that you are able to have the source of where the bug report is generated from. And now with a click of a button, you can create this ticket directly in Jira. How cool is that? That would ordinarily take perhaps 45 minutes, 1 hour, right? It's a task on your to-do list. You have a backlog of things to do. You may not be able to raise a bug report as promptly as you can using this feature, right? So when we think about this, Loom, very simply put, it is a video AI tool, right? We all are very familiar with AI tools. Loom is a video AI tool which you can absorb in multiple ways in your workflows, right? If you are a developer, if you're an engineering manager, if you're onboarding a colleague onto a sprint, and all of that context lives within Loom, you're able to get all of that information. And again, when you connect that to the wider ecosystem and connect that with Jira and Confluence, the benefits just multiply exponentially, right? So
Yeah, so I just clicked on create in Jira from the Loom window itself. It automatically pulls the information as Hetal is covering, right? I'm not typing anything. It's already there. I'm just using few clicks where I want to create this particular bug and I just click on create. So that's easy. That's how easy it is. And now I want all of you to actually, I'll quickly just put it Bangalore checkout bug, right? So this is where we want you to actually just go to your site again, search for this Bangalore BLR checkout bug to just get a feel of it, right? See how Loom has actually captured all the details in the description. there'll be a link to this loom. You can actually click on that loom, go to the loom interface again to explore and get a feeler of it, right? You can play, but I would encourage in a capacity like this, maybe play it on mute, right? Just see how it goes, and you can make yourself comfortable. And while you are at that loom, if you go to that particular loom, right, you can also focus on one particular item while it captures what activities were done when Aditya was recording the loom. It also captures some metadata about that bug that we are reporting, right? Things like which device this particular video or bug report was recorded on, right? What are the console details, the network strength, the Wi-Fi and all, the things which are actually needed, and something that you end up manually entering in your Jira work items, which is a very time-consuming task. So can I please request all of you to go back to your devices, search for this bug. I'll quickly come back to the bug, right? It will be in the name of Bangalore checkout bug. Go to the bug, just see the descriptions, click on the loom, just do a quick 2-3 minutes of testing, checking.
Is everybody able to locate the loom recording? Yeah? Raise your hands if you're unable to.
Yeah, you have some issue or you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there are a couple of ways to, do couple of activities. So this bug report is just one of the activities that we are showcasing, right? You are talking about the QA steps. Yeah, you can do that as well. And when we are talking about, so this is one example that we picked, right? A bug report. There are other ways and other artifacts you can generate from Loom as well, like a SOP guide or how to guide, right? No, so think of them like a feature more than an automation. The idea is when you are doing these quality audits, right, you would need some information depending on the use case. Loom will be able to sort of document this. Again, this is a short Loom we just created for the showcasing 60 minutes, but imagine it's a 10-minute long and a lot of details are covered. It will give you those details listed down with timestamp, with screenshots, and you can actually create a Confluence page directly from here. So the way I created a Jira work item, you can create a Confluence page too.
I think for the purpose of the recording, the bug report makes the most sense. But depending on the context of the recording, QA steps may be appropriate or a how-to guide may be appropriate. So when you think about, a service delivery manager recording a video of how to go through enablement or how to go through certain steps of integration, then a QA a how-to guide is very, very helpful. So getting that Confluence document out of a Loom recording, that's extremely powerful as well. So now you're doing document creation from a video recording. You know what? I would love to have a chat post the session and I can kind of walk you through all the use cases. And I think that's a great thing to kind of go back into your organization and inspire more thought on it. So if you go to loom.com/use cases, there are a whole heap of use cases there which are covered for engineering, for product, for development, HR use cases for enablement. So I think definitely please scan through that particular website and that you'll get a lot of use cases and happy to have a further conversation on that. Ani, back to the floor.
Yeah.
Question.
How many of you are able to go to the work item, go to the Loom, explore it?
Yes.
Maybe we can raise a hand little up higher so that we can see. Okay, most of you
I
are
think he
done.
had a question though.
There's a question? Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Sorry, I missed the question actually.
Yeah, so am I audible? The bug
Yeah,
here
yeah,
was
yeah.
about the cart.
Yeah.
But
we
maybe
understand.
because the audio when you were
Yes.
guiding Aditya,
Exactly.
it all became about Loom
Yeah.
instead of the cart.
Yeah. Even if you go to the transcript, just to extend on the thought, the transcript will be more about what I was saying because Aditya was not saying anything.
So
Right?
is it not capturing what is happening on the screen? Or
That will be in the visual format, right?
Yeah, it is capturing what's happening in the video format, but I think in this case, what had happened is the audio was about a different topic and the video was about a different topic.
That's
It, of course, created some confusion in this. But say if we were to do this, wherein we are just recording a bug and creating an output from it without any sort of background confusion, then the output would definitely reflect the acceptance criteria of the bug that you're reporting.
yep, always.
Sorry.
It need not, only the video can also work, only the audio can also work. There's an option to switch off video as well.
Correct.
Depending on how you want to record, what you want to record, there are multiple modes and options available. And we love the encouragement, we love the enthusiasm, but we are just running on a schedule here.
Correct.
After this session, there is a small gap, and then we have a dedicated Q&A. All of us will be here. And that is why we have given you a pencil and a pen, if I can be that, just communicate that. We would love to have these questions. If you can just make a bullet point of these questions, and we'll address those as well, right? But just so that everyone gets benefited out of it, if we can just stay on schedule here. Okay, so that marks the first section that what we wanted to communicate about creating a bug, right? Now we can move on to the next one, which is more about, let's say, we have done the role that we was suited for. Engineering has taken our feedback. The website is sort of almost ready to launch. And that is where we'll work on the marketing plan now. So what we'll do is, very quickly, context, right? Hital, you want to just tell them that this is the fourth city where, we can refer to the earlier context as
Yeah,
well.
correct. So, kind of stretching out the example. Now, since we're launching in Bangalore, but this is not the first city that Forklift is launching in. It is launched in 3 cities before this. So, there's a lot of marketing collateral which already exists in Confluence, which can be leveraged, their learnings, their failures, their lessons from those previous rollouts that we can absorb into the Bangalore launch, right? So what I would love for you guys to do is to put this question into Confluence and what were our best performing marketing assets from the previous launches, right? So please do a quick search on that and let me know what comes up. And it's okay, you can just scream it out.
Yeah. Like, it need not to be word perfect, but if you
Yeah.
can just type something similar. You can basically search on anything, whichever last page you are active on, either Confluence or Jira. On the top, you will see a search bar. Just click there, type this, press enter. You're basically trying to see if there's something existing that we can make use of instead of trying to create it from scratch.
I think this kind of goes back to the point that we're all in our daily jobs, perhaps doing a lot of rework, creating assets from start. And I think this is a way to look at when you already have assets which you've rolled out, how do you utilize that and then just make the appropriate changes so that you're rolling out things faster, you're a lot more productive, but you're also using the previous assets. Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I hope all of you were able to type it and search it, and you are seeing some results, right?
So just to say it out loud so that everybody can hear, I think what the gentleman up ahead is seeing is that he's seeing search results across Jira, across Confluence, Loom. He's also seeing it from third-party applications. So it's all kind of connected and coming through in his search results. And I think the experience would be similar for everybody else. Yeah, so if you do connect to Google Drive, you'll get answers from there as well. What is, of course, respecting privacy settings and so forth.
And one of the key things that we just quickly wanted to call about, given the time, we'll quickly try to show something as well. The reason it is able to do it is with something called as teamwork graph. And it was touched upon initially as well. But the idea is that it is able to utilize this brain under the AI capability and gives you responses, information from multiple sources, not only Atlassian, but outside Atlassian as well. As you can see at the top, hope you are seeing something similar and not too out of what we are seeing here.
Okay, wonderful. Are we ready to move forward? Okay. Now, for the next piece of activity, okay, I would love for all of you to access the whiteboard feature within Confluence. So you've done the testing on the website. You have done some research on previously best performing marketing assets. But now it's time to really put a marketing plan together of how to actually do the launch within Bangalore. So I would love for you guys to ideate. I think there are certain groups which are being formed on.
Yeah. So again, go to the earlier marketing conference space that we had, right? The second folder you will see called as Forklift Bangalore Launch Campaign Hub, right? So we want to start and create our own campaign, but before that, we want our ideas to come across in one space. So what we have done is we have created 3 whiteboard templates for you. Depending on the first letter of your last name, pick the whiteboard that you should go to. So let's say I'm Hani Nitharwal. The initial of my last name is N, so I'll go to the whiteboard, the third one, right? So basis that, just go to this whiteboard. It will have a template and a strawman structure for you where you can start entering your ideas. So we would really like all of you to go back to your devices, access these, and start jotting down these ideas. You can be as creative as you want. This is, this is a safe environment.
I think this is an opportunity for you to explore whiteboards, put your ideas in there. Definitely, please jump in, get active, use the emojis, use the stamps. Whiteboard has a lot of rich features. Use all of them and start plotting your ideas in. It's not every day you get to launch a food delivery app. Filing. Is everybody able to access the whiteboards?
Are
Okay.
you seeing a template or is it blank?
It's loading
Yeah,
slowly, slowly.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it's blank, just wait it out. It'll take
Yeah.
a few seconds. Yes. So one cool thing about whiteboards is, okay, first of all, may I know how many of you knew that there's a whiteboard feature in Confluence by show of hands? Oh, wow, you knew. And how many of you were using it? Okay, why so less people were using it? You're using some other whiteboarding tool? Which one? Sorry, I don't hear, I just didn't hear that. I don't hear any whiteboard tooling name other than Atlassian. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We understand that, and that is why we wanted to launch, give you a capability. We understand you are spending good amount of time in Jira and Confluence, right? But there is a capability which you can make use of. I don't want to come in between of anyone viewing it. But see, this is the cool part. You can work on it simultaneously, right? This is definitely visually appealing also to just look at it like a meditation or something, but I don't want this to be a meditation for anyone. It will be really sad, right? There are other better ways of doing it. So yeah, the idea is you all can work together. You all can work simultaneously, and this need not to be, something like you decide, you discuss, you save, you come back. It is all on cloud. It is all on live. As you are seeing the things that you are putting in your devices, you are able to see here as well, right? And this is just one cohort. Hopefully, if I go to the other cohort, which is the second whiteboard, we'll be able to see similar bunch of activities going on there. Maybe a little less. Okay, group 1 is more active than group 2. Let's see how group 3rd is doing. Hopefully, there is someone. Yeah, there are a few people there as well, right? So this is the idea. It's in a way you are 3 different teams now, but sitting together, working on your own whiteboards and brainstorming differently. And it is all sort of available for you to see it cross teams also and work within your teams, right? And I can see some of you are like really enjoying it. Okay, that's good. But please do know that whatever you are putting is visible here, especially the first group. Hi, bro. How are you? Sleepy? I'm with you, man. I'm so with you, whoever this is. But we have a duty to fill today as we are on stage. But I think you can go to sleep, whoever you are, right? Maybe go to the
No,
back
please
end.
don't. Please don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to give some context as to our whiteboard capabilities and just the journey of Atlassian in general. So Atlassian was founded with Jira in 2002, shortly after we launched Confluence in 2004. And since almost 2.5 decades now, we have, I mean, there is perhaps no large enterprise strategic customer globally who doesn't utilize Jira and Confluence to run their engineering teams, right? So definitely we have global penetration. We have about 400,000 customers globally. But we have been very busy in the past 5 years, right? Like we've been building capabilities, not just for project management and knowledge management for tech teams, but for all teams across the business. Because we realize that the problems which exist in tech teams, they pretty much exist in that those themes manifest themselves in every team, right? And hence the tooling which is required by tech teams is also required by all the other teams in the business, right? So when we think about whiteboard capabilities, we really want to give our large, you know, very strategic customers the ability to go from an idea all the way to done within the single platform, right? So when you think about an idea is where whiteboard comes into play, and of course where the work development happens is more in Jira and Confluence, going all the way to done, right? So that's the broad, like a 30,000 feet view on the investment that Atlassian is making and how we're growing our platform.
Yeah. Who is this T-shirt guy or person? Okay. Yeah, we are seeing you. We see you. But okay. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you saw what we are trying to convey and share with you as a capability.
Give me internship. I think we need to move on from this activity. The demands are getting
Internship,
wilder.
it feels like a live feedback session. It is not, right? Yeah, definitely. So, okay, one thing which I want to further emphasize on as a capability, right? So, this is a template that we gave with which you were able to start on, right? Let's say you are coming to a blank canvas, right? There are a couple of templates. There are a couple of categories of templates, and there's a long list of templates that you can make use of, right? From brainstorming point of view, from diagramming point of view, there are something for DFDs, there are user stories map, right? All of this for you to start. Again, we are trying to help you save this small amount of time wherever we can. And another interesting feature, we are talking about cloud, we are talking about the native integration of capability. Let me just pick one particular. I know there's a lot going on to the left hand side of this. We'll let them be, go crazy. But you can go crazy after the session. For now, just if I can have your attention back here. So let's say this is one idea, right? And out of these 10, 15 ideas, definitely we'll pick some few ideas to take them into the next process of discussion, finalizing, and ultimately taking it to the delivery side, right? So the idea is that if I click on this particular sticky note, right, and there's an option for me to directly convert, a Jira work item from here. So what I did, I clicked on the sticky note. There was an option to create a Jira ticket, right? It automatically picks a couple of details, which site I am on. I can select the space. Let's say I want to be in marketing, right? And I can just define, okay, this is a task or about a campaign. It will pick information about the summary from the ticket itself. I know speed is slow. We are trying to manage, guys, right? And I can just click on create, right? The interesting thing is, if you see and if you have observed, the sticky note has now become a smart link of the Jira work item that is created with some additional information about status, the priority, and all of it, right? And we can actually create multiple sticky notes into work items. And note that I have not even gone to Jira. We were earlier talking on Loom, now we are talking on Whiteboard, but we are able to create those tickets, those work items and issues for you, right? That is the power of all of this being connected. And I don't want to disappoint you, but I'll be moving out of this whiteboard now. I know, right? We could spend the entire day here. But we hope you got the idea, right? You can work on these whiteboards, right? And you can plan your projects before you are even going directly and creating work items and, Jira issues over there. So that the more strong the planning is, the better the delivery can be. And it is all connected anyway. Perfect. Moving on to the next part is we want you to try something called as create with Rovo, right? We have all been, adjusted and sort of bored with the idea of creating documentation from scratch, be it the requirement documents, be it, some technical plan, project plan, all of these documentation, we ultimately start with a blank page or use some templates, right? But we want you to think and have a slight bit of a mindset shift. Why can't we use AI to start as a starting point of these documentation instead of staying at a blank screen and go about it, right? So what I want all of you to do is just hopefully you are all out of those whiteboards. It's available to you. You can continue post the session, but just see and observe the create button that you will have on at the top. Click that one and you will see something called as create with Rovo. Hopefully you're able to see this. It will be like this.
Let's just quickly pause here in case. Are you guys all able to see the create with rover button? Are you following along? Okay, great. Please follow along on the prompt. So basically what we are doing is we're creating a marketing campaign brief. You already did the whiteboard. Now you have to create a brief, present it to your leadership of how you will actually launch it in the Bangalore city, right? So we move on from the whiteboard to the next stage where you're creating a Confluence document. But unlike the whiteboard, we will not be doing this manually. We'll be taking assistance of AI, utilizing the teamwork graph, what already exists in Jira, Confluence, previous Loom recordings, perhaps your Google Drive, all of those data sources to create an output which is the marketing brief. So please use this as a prompt to create that document.
Yeah, I'll not press enter. I want all of you to try it.
Has everybody had a chance to type this? Are we following along as to where we are in our journey of actually launching the forklift app? All good? Give me some thumbs up, make some noise, something. Okay,
Do
good.
you want me to read it as well once? No, you don't want me to? Okay. You want me to? Okay. We'll come to that. You mean in your system right now? No, it works on standard as well. Yeah. So the prompt is create a marketing campaign brief live doc for launching forklift in Bangalore. Include target audience, top 3 channels, key messages, and a suggested budget breakdown. And these are just some of the sections we have included. If you are or you have worked in the similar space, you want anything else to be included in your campaign plan, feel free to add it into the prompt and just press enter. Right? Now, hopefully you are able to see Rovo working and creating that plan for you. Are you able to see it live?
Yeah. Have you pressed enter? The prompt is working. Great. Awesome. So this was reflected on Honey's
Yeah.
screen.
So in the world of thinking of human and AI collaboration, right? Think of it like a truest reflection and a representation of how that will look like, right? Because we asked AI to do something, it is doing it for us in a live fashion, and this can be an iterative process, right? The output of this will be a first draft of your campaign plan, but it doesn't have to be the last and the final one, right? There is a widget on the chat widget on the right hand side, which you can utilize to further ask it to make any changes. This is where you can actually be creative. Just maybe ask it to change a section, add a section, remove a section. That window is for you to play and interact with AI on this particular document, right? And as you can see, it generates all of it live. Something which if you do manually from scratch might end up consuming 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, depending on how free you are, how interested you are. But you have a very good working draft just in a matter of seconds.
Got the result. All right, great.
Perfect. So now in addition to it, what we want you to do is maybe just add your first name or full name, whichever suits you, to this document title, right? So that we are all not creating similar copies. So if I go ahead and I add my name, right? You can, after this, you can click on the top right side, which says add to Confluence, right? It will automatically have marketing pre-selected for you. The parent can be as it is. Select live doc and just click on add, right? So what we are doing is, the idea is let's say we did a couple of round of iterations. Now we are saving the final version of the campaign plan, which we can take forward, right? And once you do that, there are a couple of interesting features that you can explore. right? One is something called as remix. So let's say, and again, I'm just picking one. You can pick any section that you want in your Confluence page. Let's say I pick this section, right? Here you will see an option of, let me check if it's there. Okay, where is it? Ah. So usually what happens is there is an option called as remix.
I think you have to highlight
Mm,
text.
no worries, there might be something with this. So what we are trying to highlight is basically these three functionalities, right? And again, you can try it out later as well. In addition to consuming and sharing information, let's say you have this long campaign plan, right? You want to share it with your stakeholders. Now, the text can be sometimes little dull and little boring to consume, right? What we have recently launched is something called as Remix with Rovo, the last option that you can see on slide. So Create is something that we already tried. Audio briefing is also available there, a small icon. It just reads out your entire page and a summary. Remix as an option allows you to convert a textual information into a visual infographic or charts, visual format that allows viewers to consume it in a much more better sense, right? So think of them like mini reports or building blocks of reports, right? And it works better when, let's say, you have some insights which are more quantitative than qualitative, right? Which you quickly want to share with your stakeholders. So it will add one section in your Confluence page, depending on whichever text you select, and put it there for you, right? So we are trying to give you multiple formats. There are whiteboard, there are Confluence, there is remix representation of data, so that you can use it depending on your teams, what you are working on, and who are the stakeholders with whom you are sharing this Confluence pages.
Another great way to break that wall of text is also to add a Loom recording. Especially when I have any document where the reading time is more than 5 minutes. I like to record a little bit of a loom of me walking the reader through that particular page, right? So when you think about the way that you share information on Confluence is not just text. First of all, it's extremely collaborative. Multiple people can work on it together, starting from a whiteboard. You have options like whiteboard. You have options to make it a lot more visual with things like Remix, but also that you're able to add video and audio context to it, right? Like sometimes context is so crucial when you're sharing information with multiple stakeholders. It may be sensitive information which needs to be treated with some nuance. You may be sharing it with stakeholders across different time zones. So think of this as us giving you an opportunity to communicate not just via text, but video, audio, visual prompts as well.
Yeah, and to see how we can now, let's say, create a Loom to share this campaign plan with our stakeholders, right? We'll do that. One mode would have been we can share this page with them or block a meeting, let's say, with the stakeholders. But we all know how cumbersome it is to find mutually available slots in our calendars nowadays, right? So the idea is we create a good, quick short Loom and we share with them, right? So for that, now you saw earlier that we were using the browser extension which Aditya helped us. There is another way to create a Loom video is by using a desktop application of Loom itself. If you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I mentioned, that now Honey can hit record on the Loom. So, it has, of course, this is because the desktop application, the widget is one way to access it, but you can also access it via the desktop app. You also have the Loom options available pretty much in every Atlassian product as well. So, if you think about Confluence, you think about Loom, you think about a JSM ticket, you can pretty much record a Loom from anywhere. So, multiple ways to access Loom. Right now, Honey is showcasing how you can do it through the desktop app. Again, you're able to have a visual of you talking. If you don't like it, you can remove it and you can just record the screen and just the audio as well. And then you hit record, and then it pretty much follows all the steps that Aditya had previously followed when he was raising the bug report.
Yeah, so instead of me doing it, I'm thinking let's have another volunteer who can, help us create this Loom so that we also get a break and, let's see how it goes. So before that, interesting feature of the Loom desktop app is it allows you something like a teleprompter view to help you what you have to say, because creating a video is one thing, but we all want to be prepared and look, good. The video should come out in a very refined manner and with a very structured and disciplined content, right? So for this, what we can do is we can actually use Rovo itself, right? Uh, as we were earlier saw in Jira sessions as well, right? We have this ask Rovo here. We can quickly ask it to, summarize this entire page for a 60-second loom or a 2-minute, 5-minute loom, and it will give you the basically the talk track that you can include, right? For the purpose of this, what I have done is I have just done that, and I'll quickly just paste it here, right? So that the speaker that comes next won't have to worry about anything. So these are just the notes that I took Rovo's help to create for this particular page, right? So can we just have another volunteer? You just have to follow and we'll guide you through it. But someone would like to come here and just record a 60-second loom for us?
Wonderful. Please, we have a volunteer. A round of applause for her, please.
Can we
Guys, come
have
on.
your name, please?
That was very weak.
Snehal Moge from Alliance University.
Snehal. Thank you, Snehal, for joining us. Can you just wave in the camera so they know it's live? It's not a pre-recorded thing. Yeah, okay. So what we'll do is we'll take Snehal's help to create a quick loom, and then we'll see how it comes out and what we can do about it. So Snehal, what you have to do, before you click it, you can just click on record, right? Just wait a minute. It'll give you a prompter of 3 seconds to prepare for. And then we'll click on this play, right? So that it'll start slowly going up, and you can just basically read out this entire thing. And this time, I will stay quiet so that audio is what Snehal says. Perfect? Okay. Right. First, we'll click on record.
We are launching in Pune from September 15 to November 15 with one clear goal: build city-wide awareness and convert that into first orders and repeat momentum. Our positioning is hyper-local. Forklift should feel native to how Pune eats, practical on business workdays, social on weekends, and tailored by neighborhood. The umbrella message is Pune's favorites delivered. We are prioritizing young professionals in IT, business hubs, and college students, young renters first, with secondary focus on food-curious locals and weekend group orders. Key neighborhoods include Koregaon Park, Viman Nagar, Karadi, Baner, and Shivaji Nagar. Channel mix, paid social as the main engine, local creators for trust and credibility, and CRM for onboarding, reminders, card recovery, and second order nudges. We'll use the clear launch offer, but avoid purely discount led, and curated discovery should be there. Thank you.
You can click on stop.
Okay.
Okay, can we have a big round of applause for Snehal? Thank you so much, Snehal. Very quickly, how many of you were able to recognize the places in that recording? You were? Okay. Are you in, from, or around Pune? Yeah. So that's my bad, actually. We were supposed to change that. We just did a similar event in Pune a day before yesterday, right? So it was the same content used, and I would like to apologize very humbly for that. But hope you got the message that we were trying to convey, right? It is very easy. You don't have to actually be super prepared to creating these looms also. That's not what we want you to do, right? Very easy. Just have Rovo create a script for you, right? You can actually navigate around when we are creating these Loom videos as well, as we saw earlier, right? So let's say if we are going through this document in Loom, we can actually cover what we are talking about, and we can just have a very good draft. So instead of going into a meeting with a stakeholder, we can just share them, right? Now, as soon as Snehal clicked on stop, what happened was, you may not be able to see it, but there is a small pop-up that comes at the bottom left side. I'll open this Loom. So the idea is it allows us to sort of, have multiple options. You can either copy the link and directly share it with someone. Let me open it in that window itself. Right. So again, it captured the entire thing that Snehal was covering in terms of the audio. Quite similar, it gives you an option to edit it. Now that you have created it, you might want to refine it. maybe you took a pause too long, maybe there was some background noise, right? We always use some filler words like and we try to collect our thoughts. So that's why we have a teleprompter. That's why we have this post loom edits as well. It automatically tries to edit thing. I think Snehal was very brilliant. So it found zero silences, zero filler words, right? Otherwise, if there would have been, it will automatically try to reduce them, right? And even if that is not okay, you can actually go into a video editing sort of a mode. If you prefer, it shows you the entire strip of the, that wave pattern view, and along with the timestamp and the script as well, right? So there are ways to make sure that the loom that you're sharing with your stakeholder is in a very refined format, right? So that it is seen in that light and it helps you to sort of sync better, right? As earlier said, there are a lot of additional features, but one thing if you would have observed, which is the title of this video, we never actually told Loom what should be the title, right? It auto-generated a title, which is where the Loom AI sort of layer comes into the picture, right? There is a summary as well, right? Which it auto-generates basis the content that was covered, right? So these are again ways in which it allows you to save seconds, microseconds, but when we spread it over a team or organization level, these are huge time saves, right? So very less people actually get the chance in life to correct their mistakes. I am one of the lucky ones. Let me correct my mistake. Yeah. So what I want you to do is actually go to this forklift Bangalore launch campaign overview loom, right? If you just search for this, you ideally should be able to see it, right? And if you cannot, what I can do is, which is again something which we can do in real life as well, we copy the link of this loom and we can just go ahead and paste it in the Confluence launch page that we had created. So what I'll do is I'll just paste it here as well. If you can search for this page of mine by my name, you can go there. And as soon as I paste this link, it automatically embeds the Loom itself. So these are like smart links, which we had covered initially in the first couple of slides, right? These smart links help you to find information, link information bi-directly so that it's easier for you to navigate around. So if I can request you all to go back to your devices, just either search for the Confluence page with my name on this one, or you can directly select for Loom as well, which is Forklift Bangalore Launch Campaign Overview. And the experience I want you to have is when we share these looms with the stakeholders, right? So you are the stakeholders. Now, when you come to this loom and you want to watch this, you can actually interact with this loom, right? You can use some emoji icons. You can actually, there are some emoji icons at the bottom. You can use them to react to it, something you liked in the video, something you admired in the video. And there's a comment section as well where you can comment and the stakeholder who created this loom can interact with you directly.
So the point that we're trying to make with this particular exercise is that a Loom recording is very interactive, right? So if you agree, you want to dig deeper on a point, you want to have a sidebar, you can make a comment on it and you can start a discussion on the Loom video. So it's not definitely a static piece of information which is going out there, but it's an interactive piece of information that's going out there where you can get feedback, but also close the loop if there are any open discussion topics there.
Are you able to access the loom? Right? Were you able to leave any emojis for Snehal so that she feel loved and that you all like the loom? No, you don't want to leave any emojis? Maybe a thumbs up? Oh, yeah. Some of you are. That's so kind. You can actually go to the activity tab and leave some comments as well. So what happens is once you consume the loom, it automatically gives you a suggestion like, thank you to the owner of the, the person who recorded the loom. But again, what we're trying to reduce is the friction when it comes to share and, get approvals or get update on these shared information. So think of it like with Loom, we communicated something, and when the person wants to communicate back, they can use emojis, they can use the activity bar, right? And if it involves taking some approval from let's say your manager or seniors, they can just quickly go ahead and comment approved on the Loom video itself, right? So we are trying to reduce the touch points where the information is shared. And the other advantage of this comes back to the same teamwork graph, that concept we have talked about. So once a loom is created, it goes and sits again the organization's data, the context, which is needed to pull information back from Rovo, right? And we'll see a version of that as well. But if I can have by show of hands, how many of you were able to click the loom, see the loom, interact with it in any shape and form? Quite a few. So are others not able to access it? Is there any issue coming? You're not able to find the loom. Can you try going to the Confluence page and then access it from there? If you just go back to this Confluence page, maybe just search with this. Honey should be able to search for. Just type honey and forklift Bangalore, right? And at the like the first thing on that page is that Confluence is that loom. You can play the loom from the Confluence page also, or you can click and go to the loom thing actually. Is it? Is anyone also facing the issue that the loom is empty? Let me see if there's any. But some of you are able to see it, right?
Yeah.
From Confluence page, it is showing up. Okay. So maybe you all can try from the Confluence page. Yeah. Maybe AI is smart enough. It realized that I made a slight mistake. So it won't show up till I go back and correct my mistake to all of you. No? Okay. Tough crowd, huh? Or maybe you just want to go home. We are standing in between you and your freedom for the day. Okay. So we won't take much time. I see we have some reactions as you can see on the screen, right? Okay. So I think we can move on. The idea, I think you all understood what we are trying to convey here. Now, very quickly, I want to showcase you one more additional thing which which you won't be able to do, but I just wanted to show you the capability and that something like this can happen, right? Once we have created a campaign plan like this, right, the next steps are usually creating a prototype of it, right? So if you remember initially, we were talking about we can create third-party connectors and third-party apps as well, like Canva, right? So what I have here is a Canva agent, right? So in the first session, we talked about robo agents, their agentic capabilities. But just to showcase you how it will work and would look like, we have this Canva agent here, as you can see, right? Now, what I have done is I have linked it with one of the actual Canva accounts so that I can show you. And because of these API linkers and all, we can, it's tough to replicate for all of you. But we'll just ask it to create a social media design of this campaign plan basis the information put up in the Confluence page, right? So I can actually go ahead and ask it something like as simple as, generate a social media asset from this brief. And for the ones who can't see, I'll just zoom in. So I'm just giving this particular prompt to it, right? So that it can create a social media, an Instagram post for me directly from a design point of view, right? Now, what it will do is, as part of these agentic capabilities, we have the option to connect to the third-party tools as well, right? We have been talking about Cloud Connect, we have been talking about Canva, and I think we have one more cursor agent as part of these as well. These are some of the agents we give out of the box. Definitely, you will need account on the Canva side, on the Cloud, on the cursor side, right? So what it has gone ahead and did it, it is giving me couple of options now. There's option A, option B, okay, just two options in terms of what I want as a design file, right? So I have a similar design file open from the earlier ones, and it was again, just to give you some sense of idea what it can do to generate a social media page for you. We can even go ahead and ask it to create a file, actual file in Canva, which you can edit, right? And we are able to do it with the help of these Canva agent. It has MCP connections to that. Hopefully it will open very quickly. I just want to show it for 5 seconds, right? Now this is an editable file that we can go ahead, we can edit, and then we can finalize things, right? And we actually triggered all of this right from Confluence itself. I didn't have to actually go to Canva. And again, designing something like this will again take some time for the teams. There'll be handhold of information, right? So this is what we can actually do. Similarly, we can have a Figma agent also. It can create Figma prototypes, and it works both ways. If you have prototypes or some other third-party tool, it can pull information as well, right? So very quickly wanted to cover on that particular aspect, that to continue in that entire larger process, right? Whichever workflows you want to automate, it can be either with the help of agents or some features that are available out of the box. Okay, very quickly moving on to the last leg, which we want to cover, is let's say we have created a campaign plan, we have created a design, we are mostly aligned, right? Now, this is where we want to have a larger stakeholder meeting so that we can share the work that we have done for this website launch. Whatever we have worked upon, we can share with a larger team. One option is definitely that we can share a Loom, but let's say this has to be more interactive. There are some leaders who always prefer meetings, right? And we don't want to leave out that particular option. So this is where we can actually have Loom as part of your meetings as well, and it can record, capture the information that is being shared, right? So Loom actually can sit with your Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom as well. So we'll quickly show you how that particular workflow would look like.
All right, great. So one of the various capabilities that Loom has, one is, of course, you can record a Loom video, like how we've done earlier in the hour today, where we've done a bug reporting, where you've done a recording to walk through a Confluence document. But another really fantastic use case of Loom is to have the Loom note taker be part of your meetings. Like Hani mentioned, it's agnostic, right? It can join your Teams, your Google Meet, it can join Zoom meetings. What it does, you can also set up the settings, right? So any external meeting that you're part of, you can have your note taker be part of it, internal meetings and so forth. Now, this is an example of a team meeting that's happening, which is an internal stakeholder alignment meeting, right? Again, extending out on the story of launching the Bangalore forklift marketing plan. So this has all the details of it. You were not part of it because it was happening in a very different time zone, but you're catching up on the meeting. So there were a lot of blockers and decisions that were made in this particular meeting. Now, instead of waiting to find the right time zone between various time zones, they've done a meeting where most stakeholders could attend and then just shared it with the stakeholders that could not attend. So you can quickly get up to speed as to what has happened. You can go through it at your own time. And now this becomes part of your knowledge repository, right? So earlier when you use Create with Rovo to create a marketing plan, you guys already had an experience when you had put in the prompt in the search bar, it gave you results from Loom videos as well. So now, what is being discussed in a Loom video is actually searchable by Rovo as well, because it's part of your knowledge repository. It's not just your Jira tickets, your JSM, your Confluence documents, but all the information which is also being discussed on a meeting. It is not in a segregated space. It's not a siloed data which is sitting in Zoom or which is sitting in Google Meet. It is actually living, breathing within your knowledge ecosystem, which is extremely powerful, right? When you think about if you're launching a plan, you've embarked on a sprint, there's so many changes which happen. Now, those changes, the log of those changes lives in meetings like this. The decisions, why were those decisions taken, the context of the decisions, all of that is interconnected.
Yeah, and one thing like you see when a meeting gets completed, right? Loom automatically creates this video and it identifies that it was created as part of a meeting, right? So it generates certain action items, certain additional information which is available for you to consume. And in addition to it, it automatically creates a Confluence page, something called as a meeting recap, with the same details listed down. So as soon as a meeting is over, within second, two things happen. A Loom video gets created of that entire recording, and a Confluence page, something like a minutes of meetings, with the detailed action items called out, right? So again, this is something some people or some teams might be doing it manually using other tools. Here it happens automatically, and you can choose which are these meetings, project meetings, daily Scrum meetings, or weekly cadences, which should ultimately lead to a Confluence page and recording. And another interesting part is, as we have seen with whiteboards, right? Because these are common tools, it's underlying the underneath there is a common platform. We can actually take the findings from this meeting into Jira work item directly, right? And this is something which we ideally can do with the help of automation flow as well. But just because we wanted to convey and tell you, show you live, I'm doing it manually. But just remember, this is something you can actually make an automation rule of. As soon as the meeting is over, the flow and the automation will run. It will identify the action items, which you are seeing basically here. It will create a work item basis these action items automatically, right? So this is something that can happen within a couple of minutes as soon as the meeting ends, right? But just so that you get a feel of what I'll do is, I'll just quickly select a particular, let's say, action item which was given to one of the meeting participants. I'll select that and I can click on create Jira work item, similar to the thing that we did in whiteboard. It'll pick information in terms of what should be the summary, what should be the description, and I can just go ahead and click on create from here, right? Same thing, once created, it'll put a smart link of that particular work item here. So after this conference page will not only have the minute of meetings, it'll actually have the link of the work items and the issues created in Jira basis this meeting, right? So it becomes like a real project plan or, go-to document for you. It'll have all the information pre-populated. I can select more if I want. If not, I can click on create, right?
Let me make this a lot more real, right? Like say, I'm going to take an example. I am part of the go-to-market team. I work with customers. I'm in a sales role. I have, in any given week, I have about 15 to 20 meetings with customers. There's a lot of information that gets discussed. There's some action items on me, there's some action items on Honey, and there's some action items on the customer, right? So what I typically like to do at the end of my week, I mostly am across most of those action items, but before I end my week, I definitely like to ask my Rovo agent that what were the action items to me, and then I'll quickly scan through them, and if anything is pending, I will make a ticket in my personal Jira board for me to chew through it on Monday first thing when I come in, right? So this is a great way to think about how you organize your personal productivity, your team's productivity, and I've given you a very conversational, example. Now, if you take that back to your daily lives, what it's saying that so much gets discussed in these meetings, and sometimes things slip through the cracks. This is a way for you to ensure that you're actually across all the work that's been assigned to you.
Yeah, all right. So I have a very tough question now to ask. How many of you are still in that whiteboard? Okay, I do see a couple of hands. Okay. No, I have a different question for you. So you saw there was a meeting, there was a conference page, right? Now, what I want you to do is, let's say there was a meeting happened, but somehow you missed attending that meeting, right? And now your boss is asking this one question to you. What % of our budget should go toward launch events and PR in Atlanta? Can any one of you actually tell me the right answer for this? Do you know how to find the answer?
Yeah, what are the ideas coming to mind? You've not been part of the meeting. Okay, ask it.
Yeah, don't tell us, ask Rovo. Ask Rovo.
The first person to shout out the number gets bragging rights. Up to you.
Is anyone able to find the answer?
15. You're right. Amazing. Okay. And you did that without attending the meeting because it was all connected by the teamwork graph. Wonderful. Now, before we kind of wrap up the session today, I have one question to ask. Now that we've spent this 1 hour together and we've discussed so many use cases, we discussed the Loom note taker, how many people are excited to go back to their everyday roles and responsibilities and try to infuse it with more Loom? A show of hands. This is a wonderful outcome, and I'm so glad that you guys saw value out of it. Thank you so much for following along, for all your attention.
Yeah. No, wait. Not so easy, guys. It's like a very weird superpower that we have today. No, we'll let you go just in 2 minutes. One quick thing I wanted to cover. So what all we did today, right? Just so that you have a flavor of, what we all went through as a team very quickly, right? We started with a, bug. I hope you're able to see it's in this corner. It basically says identified bug, right? And we used Loom to report that bug, right? Which ideally would have taken, again, few hours, if not more, right? We then created a bug ticket using Loom, right? And then we went on to create a campaign brief, again, with Create with Rovo. We didn't type that much. We didn't type anything, to be very frank, right? And we recorded a Loom to share that brief with our other stakeholders as well, right? Something again would have taken couple of hours, might be maybe more up to days as well, right? And then when we had to share that with the larger group, we went into a meeting which was recorded, which had its minutes of meeting generated, and those action items were taken into Jira work item as well, right? And once we did all of this, this information was actually very easily searchable with the help of Rovo, which was powered by Teamwork Graph. And that is why we wanted to do you the last bit, just so that we can convey that whatever we did was actually available to you to find out and will be available to you as well, right? So something like this we were able to go through, and hopefully it was relatable. You were able to get a sense of it, how it will make sense in your day-to-days, in your day-to-day operations of whichever teams you are part of, right? So that was the whole intent. And with that, thank you so much for being such a nice audience. Thank you for bearing the jokes. Thank you for being so supportive and so collaborative as well. And just remember, all of this was possible because of Teamwork Collection. The acronym goes TWC. You might see it in a lot of community forums and posts as well, right? But thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause for yourself.
Thank you, Hani and Hetal. So now we'll have a Q&A session. So I would invite all the Atlassians to just be on the stage so that we can take some questions from you.
I wanted to know if we can control permissions in Confluence. If I create a page and I want only a set of people to see that Confluence page. Also, if I can control what information goes into Rovo. Means I can ask Rovo and get information from Confluence page. If I want to restrict, okay, this page information should not go, or anybody who searches on Rovo should not get this information. Only particular group should get. Can I control that?
I think that's a billion-dollar question, because if we do not have controls, definitely you could see what your CEO is sharing or talking, and I'm sure he also could see the same in terms of what you're doing, right? So I think permissions and controls is the very foundation of everything, right? And that's exactly how Confluence also works, right? So if you look in Confluence, there are two ways in which you could create documentation or knowledge, right? First is your private space, right? So you can create a private space and then you can have it and don't share it with anybody, right? You also have concept of public spaces, right? Wherein you can create spaces, share it with as many as people possible, right? As Atlassian as a company, we have a policy of open company, no BS, right? So we share almost everything everywhere. The reason behind that is when you work in silos, right? Essentially, you're creating information silos or block of information within your own, drive or Confluence pages, and you're not able to let your entire organization leverage that, within your organization, right? And I think that's exactly what we want to avoid. But obviously, there are places and situations where you do want to share, right? Example, payroll information, or maybe you don't want to share your payslip, right? So you, just like how you do in your OneDrive or Google Drive, you have a folder and have permission. Atlassian also and Confluence also has it, right? Now, and there are multiple ways in which you could also, expand it, right? So imagine if you want to share certain space with a group of people, right? So you can have groups, you can have, share it with a group, right? So that you are able to share it easily. So that's one part of Confluence, right? So again, it's absolutely customizable as per your wish and as per your need, right? We can't enforce you to do something that you don't want to, right? There are ways and means to do it. It's again just to follow. Now, in terms of Rovo, I think I forgot. I think it was a two-part question, but I'll try to answer the first one about what can Rovo search and share to people or when they're looking for information, right? I think we follow a concept which is like, I think it's zero security or no security. There's a concept which we follow, which is what it means is whatever level of access that you have, right? That's exactly the level of access Rovo will have when it's trying to fetch information and give to you, right? So that's how it is. So if you don't have access to a page which Honey created and he never wanted it to be publicly available, you will never have access to it, right? So that's how it is. Now, in terms of what can you let Rovo index, not Rovo index, I think it's fundamentally going to be answered by the answer I gave earlier, right? So if you're not able to access it, you're not able to access it, right? Now, there are concepts of connectors and things like that, so which Sushmita covered in the deck. You have different kind of connectors, right? So you have got direct connectors, you have got which is enabled by your admin. So imagine your admin doesn't want you to connect to SharePoint to Rovo, right? Or your admin doesn't want to connect maybe some other tools that you're using to Rovo, and then he chooses it, no, I don't want to, right? So you still have that control. But again, if it wants to, then it can also, they can also do it from your end, right? So yeah, and then you also have an option of authenticating yourself after that connection is enabled, right? So what happens is you also go ahead and do an OAuth authentication of providing Rovo an access of what you have an access, right? So that's how I would see it. Hope that answers. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. And this is Sumalata here. I mean, undoubtedly, Loom is an extreme. I mean, it's a great feature. Awesome to know so many things. Insightful talk, both of you, Annie and ma'am. Yeah, my question is still there. I mean, I still come from the traditional old school. But too much of, I mean, does it not bring in lot of digital print and make every ticket bulkier, right? I mean, it's good that it will make you figure out the underlying things when they record screens, because with the details what they give also many a times, it would be really difficult to figure out what is the issue. But still having that recordings is wonderful, but still I don't think that every tester will make use of it. I mean, if they have all that insights already written and documented, and too much of video recording, right? If it was only 1 minute, but think about if they keep on recording pages together or 15, 20 minutes, what do you do with all that bulkier tickets? If every ticket has that way.
No, thanks. Great question, Sumalata, and thanks for your feedback on the session as well. I'm glad you saw value out of it. Loom is definitely a very different way of working. It is a way of working which is trying to bring more context by video and audio. And just to give you a quick stat on it, so tickets which are raised with a Loom attached to it have a resolution rate which is 30% faster, because they're able to get so much context from video and audio. So if you've raised a ticket, which I mean, I do quite regularly, and I can guarantee the first 3 questions that the agent and I go back and forth on are just on qualifying the question. You know, if I have asked a certain request, then they'll come back to me, they'll ask me some more qualifying information, and this loop goes back and front. But but what our research has shown is that when you raise a Loom, a ticket with a Loom video with it, that it gets to resolution 30% faster. But I do agree with you. It has to be used with caution. And I think there is a place
Because
for
people
Loom.
are going to misuse. We just saw
Correct,
it.
correct. And like with
Everything.
any technology, I think change management, policies, practice, culture, all of that also has to follow. We don't want to create a lot of AI slop, which is very, very, top of mind for a lot of organizations right now, when things are easy to create with a click of a button. They're just creating pages, but genuinely is there value in it? And I think this goes back to culture. It goes back to change management as well. Anything else to add?
The only thing is resolution, I do agree. But the only thing is it is creating lot of thing. I mean, it's again infrastructure, right? Keeping all that together.
Yeah.
That's again a question for
No,
two
that's
bulkier tickets.
no.
I mean, at the end of a year, you will so much, somewhere you have to purge it or archive it also for future artifacts. If you still keep it, where do you go?
No, that's a fair question, and we understand that could be a challenge or a point of concern in a lot of your minds. By the way, how many of you actually thought when you were watching Loom, like, who will create so many looms? We don't want to create so many looms. Anyone did? Or how many of you prefer that, video communication as a tool of, please sit, Sumilita, video communication as a preferred tool of communication? What do you want? No? Still tired? Want to leave the room? Yeah? You want to leave the room? No, no, I know, I'm joking. So, just last point on what Sumilita was asking. See, if you would have noticed, the link of the Loom, it just gets tagged in the description, right? The reason we are doing it because we don't want to make the Jira ticket or the work item bulkier, right? One another way could be to keep the link of the loom in one of the custom fields so that you can go and click there, right? So we are making sure of the nuances that your ticket doesn't get bulkier or the data in that sense doesn't get heavy for you. But see, the flip side of that is we do want your organizational context to be more richer. So maybe a change of mindset or a thought process in terms of yes, it might have some infrastructure cost, but as of now, most of that cost is something that we are incurring, right? We are not like directly passing it along. Like your Jira ticket will become easier; it will get passed included in your Jira storage and all that, right? We're not doing that because we want this to be seen more in a way that your context gets richer, so that again the insight you get out of Rovo and AI is much more stronger. Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you guys in a queue or something? Okay, so sorry. We'll keep our answers short. Yeah.
Hi, team. Thank you very much for all your insightfulness and your knowledge and in-depth work talks about itself when you're on the stage. And we there are sometimes shocked with whatever you're saying. So thanks a lot again. Great, you know, um, great speakers on the stage, as well as kudos to Girish as well for organizing this. And we always look forward for this, on a timely manner. I'll keep my question very short and sweet. I just want to know, how do you handle sensitive data on Confluence Space?
Yeah, that was actually short. Thank you. I didn't get your good name.
Kalpesh Shah.
Kalpesh Shah. Thank you so much. Kalpesh, I think you can sit.
Yeah, sure.
If you're okay. Yeah. So see, I'll just extend that question and not to like cause trouble for the next one, but just extending that question, how do we keep any data, sensitive data secure on Atlassian applications, right? Be it Confluence, Jira, Loom for that matter, right? So there are ways in, and I think there was a gentleman initially asking some questions on AI governance as well. I don't see that gentleman here anymore. But the idea is we know that we have to, the organizations that you are coming from will have sensitive data, will have important data that you want to be within the wall of your organization and not go outside, right? That is one part where we see sensitivity of the data from a data security point of view. That's where we have those needed guardrails of permissions. A person should only able to see what he or she is supposed to see. It shouldn't leave the realm of your organization. So we have those certificates needed, AI governance needed from the infrastructure layer point of view, right? Not only from Confluence, I'm talking about Atlassian applications, right? And then when it comes to sort of making sure that, let's say, a sensitive PII data is, in a way redacted each time it is mentioned. So we do have an application called as Atlassian Guard to take care of those post occurrences, post event occurrences scenarios when any PII or sensitive data is entered, right? So we see it from a multiple touch points point of view. There is proactive measures. There are, once something happens, then controllable measures, and there are multiple layers on top of it that we work on. I know, like long answer to your question, but we do have those measures in place. And for all of you, if you want to know more about this, we do have a website, trust website called as trust.atlassian.com. And if you just do /AI, it will actually pull out a list of commonly asked question FAQs pertaining to a lot of these areas. So it has details on Rovo. And if you just go to trust.atlassian.com, there'll be a lot of information about just Jira and Confluence as well, right? Does it answer, Kalpesh?
I think I'll just add a point, Kalpesh, right? So when you're speaking specifically about accessibility on Confluence, you can also add pointers like allow listing and block listing, right? What comes into Confluence from other applications? And secondly, what becomes visible as well to, based on the permission sets of individuals, roles, user groups, as well as your entire org-wide organization. So this will trickle down to what becomes visible, and I think on top of what Honey added, Atlassian Guard is something that would give you further exposure to what gets hidden if you want PII information, credit card details, and so on getting hidden from that entire list. So I think this was just an added point.
Hi, this is Abhineet here. I had noted down quite a few questions, but the only two questions that remain currently are, so we went from a Confluence page to creating issues. So does it does it also allow us to use documents like FSDs, BRDs, or PRDs? Like, does it allow? The second question is, say my organization has quite a few people working, and all of them, use the agents. So does the issue or the agents work with some kind of determinism, or each of them would have a like same set of same set of source of truth, but the agent has come up with different issues for each of the users, right? So that could basically mean that we need to also set some kind of determinism within the agents to make the issues overall, it should align. Otherwise, one user could have a certain set of issues and the other user could have a different set of issues. So how do we handle that?
Hey, hi, thanks for the question. So I think first part of your question, as far as I understood, was uh, Confluence being the source of truth for Jira tickets, right? Could you use like some other formats? Could you use essentially a PRD or an FSD or something like that, right? Yes, like there are customers who use Jira who don't use Confluence, for example, right? And their data could sit in, say, a Google Drive like doc, where you've put in format for PRD or FSD or something like that, right? You can use that, like as long as your MCP is connected to Rovo, it'll have the same impact of like exactly what we had in the Jira workshop. You create a ticket, say, take the requirements from this doc, except for being a Confluence link, it's now say, an external link, not within the Atlassian system. So that's 100% possible, as long as the MCPs are connected, of course. So I'm assuming that as long as Rovo is able to read the document, it should not have any impact on the outcome. Now, specific to determinism, right? This is as much a technology question as it is a outcome and like guardrails sort of a question. Fundamentally, all AI is probabilistic in nature. So there is going to be differences. It may not be as different as, oh, you got different tickets, but the language might be different, the framing might be different. Like you will see differences. However, what we say is like whatever we did, say at like ticket creation, I'm just using that example, for example, like in this case, yes, we're doing it at a team level. So it's not like two team members are creating tickets from the same requirements and then therefore comparing. If you do that, there might be some differences. You will also see differences if you use different models, for example. Like if you use a very light model versus a Opus 4.6 versus Claude, you will get different, because all of these harnesses are different, right? So they will have different, like Rovo is more research oriented, Claude is more code oriented. So you will definitely see that bias. But again, the framework that I will point you to is, imagine humans were doing it or teams were doing it. It is likely that if you give two different teams the same requirement, they might come up with different sets of tickets. That's how much difference that you will see. And that's why the principle of, at the end, human in the loop is important. Yes, you need somebody in the team to verify, is this the right set of tickets that you should be working on? So that same mental model hopefully works in this use case.
I think, yeah, that kind of gives the entire answer. But I think one point to mention there was Sushmita talked in quite a depth about teamwork graph, right? And I think it's very, very important to understand why teamwork graph is important, right? The importance is because, as you said, right, somebody might have a different context. A ticket is related to a agent in a different way. To the ticket is related to an agent's manager, right? And I'm talking about the human agent manager, right? The same goes for the person who has raised that request, right? So again, there is very important to understand these relationship between different people, right? And that's where the intelligence of teamwork graph come to picture, right? So when you're asking Rovo, I'm just taking an example of Rovo, right? Is considering all of that aspect as well in creating a response, right? who is related to what are the some of the historical context behind that ticket, right? So I think teamwork graph also adds a lot of intelligence on top of it, and that's when you will definitely see when you ask similar question to Rovo and it's been asked by different people within your organization, maybe it's the similar question. The responses are going to be very different, right? At the at the heart of it is going to be the same thing, but it may be delivered to you in a different manner, right? Because there are people who are looking at it. If a salesperson is asking a question, probably it will come across more salesy. If a guy is asking or an engineering folk is asking, maybe it will have a little bit of more depth. Again, depends on the relationship and a lot of things that's happening in the back end, right? So teamwork graph becomes very, very critical that way in those senses.
There's another question, so I'll let that be. But there are two teamwork graph use cases that I'd love to discuss with you. Very fun things to realize how intense teamwork graph is.
Hello. Hey, hi. I am Harvansh Tiwari. Today, 10 years in Atlassian products I'm using. So my question is not about the product and all. So my leadership always wants to use different type of tools. Okay, like whiteboarding is there, but they want to use Miro. Okay, Robo is there, but they want to create own agents. So how to convince my leadership to use Atlassian products?
Great question. And I love how passionate you are about Atlassian, that you want to advocate for it internally in your organization. Thank you. Thanks for that passion. Amazing. Great. So I think it again goes back to the power of the platform, right? So if you are across a lot of the AI news which is coming out, it is a very well-known fact within the industry that LLM models are no longer the moat, right? They are no longer the way to capture the market. The way to truly capture the market and give value back to the organizations who are currently investing in AI is via context, which again goes back to teamwork graph, right? So I think truly the way to advocate for Atlassian within your organization is to explain to them how context, because you yourself have been using Atlassian products for last 10 years. The advantage Atlassian has is because of Jira and Confluence, we have been at the center of your development work, of your engineering work for decades now. This is where work has been planned and tracked. We have so much historic context of how your organization really ship products, really develop things, go to new markets, solve these large problems, unlock a large chunk of revenue. And all of that context can now be surfaced up via AI. AI is only as good as the context that it feeds from. So I think this is a great starting place, and perhaps I think this may also be a good opportunity for you to dig into those teamwork graph.
Okay. I'll just add a point or an example here before Swarna takes it up, right? So quick example that, or rather research that was done by our team, a lot of our users here use Claude, right? A third-party application. So when you actually use Claude standalone or Claude plus a TWG, which is our teamwork graph, the sort of responses that you get are super faster, and the token consumption has been noticed to be far lesser as well, right? So the entire essence of teamwork graph has become our USP today in saying that this becomes your single source of truth for making it your system of execution. So I think that was the point I wanted to mention because, of course, our team has also been doing so much of research exactly on this topic.
Just because it's come up again, so maybe some teamwork graph use cases, right? The more data you connect, the more context it has. Things you can't do with, say, using systems that are separate. You look at your Jira work and ask, okay, this is my team. You just mention your team because we have all of those graphs. Tell me who is best fit for the best for these tasks, right? What is the teamwork graph doing? Trying to look at what work I have done, she has done, all of us. Imagine we are in the team, okay? In the past, that one's the front end, but that's not enough. They are front end, but they're good at mobile, and this is not a mobile task. I am back end, and I've done this sort of task before. This person's a bug expert.
This is what the teamwork graph is able to assimilate and be like, you know what, maybe these tasks are best done with this thing. Sure, somebody who is already in the team can do this. It's just much faster, and it also makes it resilient to change. Today, the person who is doing this, if that person leaves the team and a new person comes in, they have to start from scratch. This is a really powerful teamwork graph use case. Another thing that I regularly do, I write a page, I've iterated, and product manager, I write all the time, right? Okay, give me feedback as if you are this person. They will study the thing, understand what they typically say on different other pages, whether they care about structure more or they whether care about customer impact more, and they will review that page as if they are that person. You cannot do this in systems that are disparate and not connected to each other.
Just one more thing. Please reach out to us. We are in India. We have got a India go-to-market team. We can help you with a lot of things, right? So if you have any questions, if you want a clarity, maybe if you want to get a point of view on something, please reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to do that for you.
Sure.
And I
thank
thought champions are not allowed to ask our questions. No? Are they? Okay.
Okay, so one last question. Is there any platform or any website where I can compare products like Confluence with other wikis or like Loom with other options, white places with other options? So is there any way Atlassian is providing? I don't know if there are.
I don't remember anything publicly available as such. We do have an internal tool, but we do it for our own, benefits.
But
I'm
it
not
should be
sure.
for public because as a leader, I cannot decide. I need to do multiple places to check which is the
Yeah,
good.
yeah. And
I think a good place to refer for all of this is our Forrester or Gartner rankings. I think this is like we are top of the leaderboard for most of our solutions, right? So when it comes to code development, when it comes to service management, when it comes to our video AI tooling, and I think that could be a great reference point of how we compare against our peers in the industry. And I
Thank
think
you.
these are like third-party, publications which are very, very respected in the industry, especially with leadership. You're welcome.
See, just a small point. See, we understand the question, we understand the intent you are coming from. But think of it from point of view, let's say any leader, what would they want, right? What are they looking for when they're trying to look at any tool, not only Atlassian, any AI tool, any SaaS tool, right? So the way we have seen it, it typically involves around some problem statement and some use cases they want to solve for, right? So lead with that and then see what are the places where we can help you solve for those use cases, and that's where the teamwork graph, the Forrester assurance, and all of these comes into picture. We have a website, just search Atlassian use cases or over use cases. There are list of use cases across teams, right? So starting point could be that if there are use cases you think which are mentioned, which are problem point for you, Atlassian can solve them for you. And if to do that use case you need 3 other tools versus one Atlassian tool, then that's a differentiator in itself, right? So, and as Zishan said, like you don't have to fight this fight alone. Help us help you, and we can help you out there in a way. But there is a use case website you can go and explore, and that would be in my idea. I'm just thinking out loud. That could be a good starting point to tie with the problem that you're trying to solve as a leader, and then take it downstream.
Any questions? Otherwise, we can call it a wrap. Okay, there's one question, yeah. One second, hold on. I'm bringing mic.
no.
Check.
Yeah, so my question is with respect to teamwork graph only. So specifically about connectors, okay? So as you have mentioned, there are 4 type of connectors: synced, synced light, and direct and smart link. So actually, I think I missed that part. So basically, it's kind of a clarification about what are the difference between all these 4? Like when we say something we can connect via synced and not via synced light, or how, what are the differentiation between the 4?
Aditya, right? Are there more questions in that booklet? That is the only one? Yeah, because you took out a booklet and I'm like, we can't go through that whole booklet if this is
No,
full
this
of
is the only
questions.
one.
Thank you. So, yeah, see, the simple way to look at it is one is about a uniflow of information versus a bidirectional flow of information, right? You would want to, so when we say that we are giving you these small nuggets or small nuances of features, right, across application, one is we want to emphasize and think of you from point of view that all of it is natively connected underneath, right? And the second reason we are sort of introducing these small features are to save you those context switching and swivel chair effect that you would have, right, when you're jumping between tabs between applications. It indirectly also helps us to map out information in the teamwork graph, right? So not only with Atlassian applications, we do provide some smart links with third-party applications itself. Let's say if you paste a Google Doc or G Suite, a Google Suite link in Confluence, it also becomes a smart link, right? Uh, the the indication is that at the back end there are some objects that we are indexing when we are connecting with all these connectors, third-party connectors, right? Which ultimately we use to go against our teamwork graph and help you pull out the insight. Now these smart links allows us to use these, some index object, some metadata, with the help of which we can give you the right information and map out that for you. Now it differs depending on the connector, depending on the application, what's the, in scope versus out scope. But those are the couple of things that I can think of allows you to, see it as a feature, use it as a capability. Does that answer your question, Aditya? You seem thoughtful. Like, I'm sure you're having follow-up questions in your mind. Don't write it on your notebook, please.
No.
No,
I
please go ahead.
I was thinking of getting a reclining chair now.
Yeah, maybe a bed as well, but yeah, we'll see.
And just one follow-up thing. So is it like, has it? I mean, does it have something to do with security or maybe data privacy or something?
Yeah, does it have the nuance is whatever information you can access in that connected application from your ID, the same information you will be able to see when you're searching from Rovo also. So let's say you pasted a Google Doc link in a Confluence page, which you can access, but I can't. If I go there, I'll see the link, but if I click, I won't be able to see the information. And the same information will not get pulled when I ask in Rovo also. So we are providing those linkages. Think of them like different nodes and relations in between. They exist, but you won't be able to walk those bridges if, let's say, you are scared of height. In our case, if you don't have permission. That's the way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
On a side note, you can check out our marketplace as well for some of the direct connectors we have. So today we have around 50 plus direct connectors, and of course there is a roadmap for having more. So over to you as well for that.
Just a quick one on that. I think why do we need connector is also an important point to understand it. I think I'm guessing you also would want to understand what is the difference between different connectors, right? Now, correct. So if you look at this entire space, the space is predominantly called as an enterprise search, right? An enterprise search essentially means you are able to search through different third-party connectors or investment that you have done within your organization, right? That's how you're able to get context. That's how you're able to understand the relationship between different things, right? Now, how do you connect is also an important thing to understand, right? If I have to give you like a very simple example, you copy something and add in your Google Drive or OneDrive, upload something that is part of your Google Drive, it becomes much easier for Google Drive to share that and share it with you, right? So that's the similar concept that I would say, not exactly, but it's kind of similar, right? So if you have a connector, and so there are ways in which your admins could allow to index your organization data into Atlassian, right? Now, there are definitely benefits of doing that. Benefit is definitely that you are able to get access to information quickly, right? Because everything is indexed in Atlassian, right? Then there are other ways wherein you use APIs to fetch that information, right? Definitely a more secure way of doing it, but at the end of the day, it will also have certain effect on latency and other things, right? So again, we are giving you all the options. Whichever do you prefer, please go ahead and do that, right? So it's up to you. How do you want to, access the data? The idea is that you don't operate in silo, right? Get context from different systems. There are ways and means in which you could do it. And we are there to give you an option, whichever works best for you, right? Multiple organization don't want, it's not like they don't want. It's essentially around the regulation that they follow, right? That that may not allow them to index everything from various systems of their own, right? In that case, they would want an API-led approach, right? Wherein you authenticate, you do an OAuth, get information when you need it, right? Now, there's a lot of challenge in that as well. What is the context window? What kind of information that you can get as part of API call? All of that will exist, right? So there are, again, pros and cons on both sides of it. It's up to you as an organization, how would you want? If you ask me as an Atlassian, I was like, yeah, index it. Everything you get it, right? And you'll get the best result of it. But the thing is, again, every organization is different. Their needs is different. And that's how we
My question is, there is Rovo agent, and we just saw today Jira coding agent. I understand there has been some recent changes. We saw an announcement about that. So what is the difference between these two agents? Both can actually code. So if we have subscription of Rovo Dev as well, so in what scenario, which one should be used? That is my first question. And the second question is, we have an option to use our other LLM solutions that is already there in the organizations like Claude or GitHub Copilot. So to use them as agents within Jira, we have to install a marketplace app, I believe. And my question is, when we assign it to GitHub Copilot, is the sandbox feature still available? Is it going to create a sandbox and code it in an isolated environment? Or we have to switch back to the IDE like VS Code or something else? That's my second question. Thank you.
So thanks for the question. Jira coding agent is, if you have to think of it, is specialized for use cases of coding, as you say. So like anything that you want to have context of your Bitbucket repo, right? You should think that that is a good, or like your Bitbucket or whatever repo, coding repo, that is a good use case for Jira coding agent, similar to how your Claude agents, GitHub Copilot, all of that. Rovo is a more generic connecting layer, like think of chat use cases, right? Like you are like, okay, can you find this for me? Or like, can you assess this page for me in Confluence? Or can you rewrite this ticket for me? It doesn't necessarily need context of your like your repo. So therefore, Rovo has more generic use cases, whereas coding agents like Jira coding agent has a far more specific niche use case.
I want to clarify, I meant a Rovo Dev, not Rovo.
Okay. So Rovo Dev has been rebranded and has also been changed, like tweaked quite a bit now. So that is what Jira coding agent is now. So I don't think in the product you have Rovo Dev anymore. Yeah. So think of Jira coding agent as a replacement for Rovo Dev.
I thought there is a separate Rovo Dev subscription available, right?
No. No.
Sorry.
You're referring to the CLI?
It has everything. CLI, it has a VS Code extension.
I'll just.
So-
We
That's a
didn't get
bit-
your good name.
Nihar.
Nihar.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, JC, a Jira coding agent, is nothing but RoboDev agent. We just changed the name, right? Second is the RoboDev that you are referring to. It is, think of them as a suite of agents. So I'll just extend your question. How we see this entire space, right? Rovo is an AI offering. It's a capability, right? We discussed a lot of agents. There are a lot of agents that you can create and you get out of the box also. Think of them as more task-specific agents, right? Coding agent or triaging agent, right? Someone was asking about PRD documents. So there is a product requirement guide agent available out of the box, right? So these are meant to cater to a specific task or set of tasks for you, right? Now, so this is what we launched. With this idea, we gave you the Rovo capabilities. Some out-of-the-box agents, some agents you can create custom and tweak the existing ones, right? Now we talk about this entire SDLC. There is a before code, code, and then after code, right? So before code and after code is what you can cater with the help of out-of-the-box agent or custom agents, right? This is where the PRDs, the BRDs, the planning estimation, and after code is where the test case creation and all that come into picture. This is all you can do with the help of Rovo agents out of the box or custom, and you have Rovo Studio that allows you to cater to that and monitor that. Now for the coding aspect is where we have this Rovo Dev. Think of it like a sub-version of the Rovo capability itself. Now those Rovo Dev agents, there are a couple of, it's like a playlist, a collection of agents, right? One was Rovo Dev, which we rebranded to Jira Coding Agent. And then there are a couple of additional agents, which some of them are in beta, some of them are about to get launched. They basically will help you to review the code change that has been done with the acceptance criteria. It can help you to review your CI/CD pipeline as well. There is a planner which can help you to create technical plans and documents as well, right? That is the second layer, right? So we started with Rovo agents before code and after code. For coding, there is a layer. And then there's a third layer that we understand when it comes to code, developers like to stay in their IDEs, right? So what we give and as a capability, as a feature is you can access these agents directly from your IDEs, from your Visual Studios or from your terminal itself, right? So the version that you would have seen, so some of those capabilities and some of the invoking of the agent can happen through these terminals and IDEs as well. And that is where we go into the realm of Rovo CLI, command line interface, which allows you to, so you either stick to your own IDE, right, and access the capabilities of Teamwork Graph and agent there, or we also have a version of another layer, Rovo CLI, from which you can invoke these and you can prefer that also. So ultimately what we are giving you as a bundle of layers, touch points with the specific agents and sub-agents, depending on what you want to use, when you want to use. Something is broken. If let's say you want to do a revamp of your entire SDLC, you have the entire set of agents. You say we just want to start with code, is where we talk about Jira coding agent and the Rovo CLI, right? And that is where when you were saying that, let's say now, as Swarna was mentioning, we have a Claude agent which you can trigger from Jira itself. Similarly, we have a cursor agent as well. The idea is that you see Jira as your agentic system of record, right? It won't need you to specifically do a lot of setup on your Claude side. Let's say if we are talking about Claude, it will just be a one-time setup your admins have to do from an API connection point of view. Basically, you as a user, Neha, if you have an access of Jira, you have an access of Claude, you can invoke it from Jira itself. It will create an instance, a version on the Claude side, right? Think of it like a server that is getting created. The work happens there, but it connects back on the Jira side, right? Specifically to the Jira coding agent, how that works is, it again is creating a virtual session of VS Code session, as you saw here also in your desktop as well. What is happening is it is creating a virtual session and it does multiple steps in between. So first, it creates a container, right? Then it is creating a clone of your repo, be it Bitbucket or GitHub, right? Because that is how it shows you the preview, live preview. It is not still going and creating a PR and committing the changes, right? So it creates a clone of your repo and then initiate a virtual server, give you the result of basis the code change that you wanted to do and do that. And this is all happening, in a container, in a virtual server. It is not yet gone to your actual repo. But once you create a PR, you commit it and then takes it over there. Does that answer your question? You look more
I
confused.
think I'll probably discuss offline. I still have some confusion around Jira coding agent and Rovo dev. I'll connect offline.
We can connect after that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Any other questions? Oh, we have one. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Hello everyone. So I'm Hers and working almost around 6 years as a Atlassian admin. So whole day we have discussed about like how Rovo can be useful for as a end user, but as admin how teamwork graph and those things will be useful for us. The second question is with respect to the Rovo Studio. Like we all have a functionality to create a skills and the app. So as admin, how we can put a guardrail on the users, like what all kind of skills you can develop it, or what all kinds of functionality you can provide within the application.
So I'll jump in right in, like Jira question. I think the bane of anybody who is administering Jira for as many years as you have or more is finding things in Jira. Configurations and where these configurations live and things like that, right? So we've just launched a very good Rovo skill. It's in beta right now. It's called the Jira admin skill. And you can ask it things like, okay, basically bug smashing, right? Like, oh, you get a ticket like, I don't know why I can't access this ticket or this page. And because of the way Jira has evolved, not very proud about it, but like our permissions live in so many places, right? And it could take a while to figure out why. You can simply ask Rovo and it'll tell you why. Since it is admin capabilities, we are still testing if we should let it act on your behalf or not, but you can definitely get root cause analysis and quick links to pages that you need to go to like fix this thing. So that's itself is like, I think we are seeing a lot of, like we demoed this last October and then people are like, give it right now, like that sort of reaction. So that's helpful for admins. From a like administration perspective, there's also a lot of things we are doing in terms of Rovo being able to take care of very basic admin tasks. Like, hey, things that you deem safe. Like if you think that like, hey, if somebody is asking for a new field type, not deleting something, a new field type, Rovo do it. You can set that up. Like you can set Rovo to take over some of your safe tasks now. So that's what is helpful. And there's a lot more coming in the admin space. Because to be honest, I think if we free up admin time, you all will be able to drive more adoption, do a lot more, and that's useful for all of us. So that's one thing. On your question on Studio, there is a lot of, now Studio is a fresh take on what it takes to make agents, and um, the kind of controls you are used to in Jira, for example, that's not the kind of controls you have on Studio. It is an agent-first experience of like, let everybody create agents. There are controls. There are layers of controls where you can say things like, okay, this person, this agent should not be allowed here, can be allowed only in Jira, or can be allowed only in Confluence. You have those controls built in. I think maybe somebody else can also talk about the controls in Studio. But fundamentally, what we believe is a lot of people, once organizations will start using them, that's when like you all will figure out and tell us like how much control that you need. So we don't want to like rein it in right on the first day. So that's our default position right now, right? Anybody else?
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Harsh? I just want to check. Almost. See, on the, I think, yeah, in addition to what Sona is saying, on the admin side, you do have some controls. You can control who can create an agent, right? We are not yet there where we can allow you to control who can access certain skills, because skill is something which will be available. Yeah, so we are going there. Things are in roadmap, but as of now, you can control who can create agents. So your super group can be the ones who can create agents and then publish them. There is something called as unpublished where you can work on these agents, test it out as well. And as an admin, you'll be able to see how much agent interaction is happening at a user level within your organization, and then you can group them and see for the groups as well. So one user is using how many agent, and one agent is being used by how many user. This two-directional information is something you can see in your admin hub as of now.
All right, thank you. That was a great Q&A session, and I must appreciate your patience. I think coming all day long and still having that patience to go through every Q&A session here. So I want to thank Hani, Zishan, Hetal, Sushmita, and then Swarna. And I want to thank Atlassian for sponsoring this event, community manager, the community team, and then all of you here, the audiovisual guys, the restaurant, chef, the hotels, for providing us this space. And there is a quick networking and social session. You can always, this is right outside the door. And do not forget to collect your swags when you just leave this premise. So once again, thank you, and I'm signing off. And do remember about the 19th September event, Get Credentialed event, where you have a chance to get certified and walk out of the session.
Yeah, and we would also want to thank Girish for all the efforts that he has put in. Can we please have a round of applause for him? Thank you so much, Girish, for having. Thank you to the entire, champions. I know you guys work a lot in front, at back. So yeah, Girish. We are also thankful to him for helping us come here, deliver this such a great event. Loved the energy. Thank you all of you for entertaining us and being patient with us as well, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
So quick thing. So in your worksheets, there would be two codes, right? One, you can scan it to get like a complete champion pack, which will have multiple templates, multiple responses and so on. Just go through, give it a scan and see what you have. So it pertains to all the different solutions of TWC. And you also have a scanner for feedback. So we would love your honest feedback. It was an amazing crowd. So thanks to all of you.